Recently elected District Attorney Harvey Dent has already begun waging his war on crime. The first assault made his opponent in the race for District Attorney, Roger Garcetti, surrender unconditionally and turn state's evidence against the head of the Falcone crime family. This testimony paved the way for what will be Dent's first major battle, the trial of Sal Maroni. Will Gotham's White Knight broaden the front on his war on crime to benefit the city? Or will he only dedicate himself to conflicts that make for good headlines? Good evening, I'm Mike Engel, and this is Gotham Tonight. We're joined tonight by District Attorney Harvey Dent, who has graciously taken time out of his busy schedule to not only answer my questions, but yours as well. So let's start, shall we?
Why don't we start with the question that you posed in your opening, Mike? Am I an advocate for Gotham or just a publicity hound?
Well, that wasn't exactly how I put it, but...
If I was after headlines, Mike, I would do more press, wouldn't I? I mean, weren't you the one who was criticizing me for not doing any interviews during the election?
Well, that's true, yeah.
Okay, then here's an answer to your question. Whatever decisions I make as district attorney will be made with Gotham's best interest in mind. The moment I fail to do that, no matter the circumstances, is the moment I become everything I stand against.
Corruption, brutality, total disregard for the law.
To name a few, yes.
Well, couldn't you ascribe those qualities to the Batman?
Batman? Isn't that a little off point?
No, I disagree, actually. I mean, I'm dumbfounded personally by the notion that a man who continues to take the law into his own hands, making a mockery of it altogether, is tolerated by both the public as well as the authorities. I guess the question we all want answered is, will you make this a priority to bring him to justice?
Well, my priority is to help this city return to a time when it didn't need a Batman. Safe, and the institutions of government were right-minded.
That sounds like good spin.
It's not spin. You don't just decide one day to go put on a disguise and go fight crime. A dysfunctional society dictates that response. So if you want to get rid of the Batman, then curing what created him is the best way.
I understand that, but what if you sanction a vigilante to act as a guardian for society? I mean, someone who willfully breaks the law, then aren't we in fact sanctioning lawlessness and chaos in the city?
If the Batman bent the law to achieve some personal gain, you would have a much easier time to get people to agree with you, Mike. Batman's actions thus far have been everything but personal. They've benefited the city entirely.
How do we truly know what he's after if we don't get an opportunity to ask him?
Well, let's just say there are plenty of other people who are acting out of personal gain that I'm more interested in getting to know.
You mean people like Sal Maroni, I assume?
Yes.
Well, since the trial's in progress, Mr. Dent, we obviously understand that you can't discuss the details of it at this point. So I'd like to open up the conversation to a couple of callers at this point, if you don't mind.
Sure thing.
So on line one, we have Marcia Dolinsky from Uptown. Marcia, you on the air?
Yeah, hi, Mr. Dent. I'm a huge supporter of yours.
Thank you, Marcia.
I used to live in the Narrows, and I was fortunate enough to make it out okay during Dr. Crane's chemical attack. Now I hear Crane may be out there spreading the toxin again. What can you do to stop this?
Well, what I will do is reopen the investigation into Crane's whereabouts. If Crane is dead like the authorities say, then we need to find a body. I don't think you will, so I'm inclined to believe that he is out there, and finding him will be imperative.
Now, Dr. Crane's alleged poisoning of the drugs in Gotham is clearly just another offense, and what we're seeing that is a series of really bizarre and sensational crimes being perpetrated these days. How do we counteract something that appears to have no known motive?
Well, as demented as it may be, I think the motive is to hurt people. And that's why this crime will be stopped, and the perpetrators will be brought to justice.
Caller 2, Brendan Palmer from River South. You're on the air.
I had a vision of a world without Batman. The mob ground out a little prophet, and the police tried to shut them down one block at a time. And it was so boring.
Me! You see, this is how crazy Batman's made Gotham. You want order in Gotham.
And it didn't need a Batman.
Himself in. Oh, every day he doesn't, people will die. Starting tonight. I'm a man of my word.
I need you plugged in checking Gordon's men and their families.
Looking for